We ever tried manifesting something, and no matter how much you spoke the words or wrote your vision down or try to think and visualize whatever it is that you were trying to manifest, nothing seems to materialize. I'm going to be sharing one of the mistakes that a lot of people make, that are still making, and you might be making in this video, and just how you can shift away from that so that you get your thoughts, your emotions, your actions aligned with what you're actually trying to manifest. Okay. So first of all, my name is Eva. I'm an intuitive healer. I work with two modalities, or I'm certified in two modalities. One of which is based on working with the Akashic records, which is called soul alignment, and the second one is called quantum flow, which is based on rewiring your nervous system. But I'm going to be sharing more about how these two modalities can be a beautiful, beautiful toolkit that you can add to your toolkit, your healing journey, and really accelerate your growth, your evolution, your transformation, your release of all those things that have been keeping you stuck for a very long time. Okay, so these two modalities have been such a game changer for me, and I want to show you how powerful they might be for you. But I'm going to be sharing that at the end of this video. Okay, so I always start my videos by sharing my lesson for the week, and I'm encouraging you, if you're watching this, share with us, share with the community, share with everyone who will be watching this video in the comments. What have you learned in this last week, in this last day, in this last month? Does not matter. We can learn so much from each other's perspectives, each other's lived experiences, where you've actually grown and evolved from, maybe something you just had an aha moment with. That's the reason why I share my growth journey, because one of my greatest values, where I'm spending most of my time and energy, is actually in growing and evolving myself. That is what gives me so much joy. And I love to hear from you. How are you growing? How are you evolving? Okay. So the lesson for the week was very simple. And I got it from Greg Braden, brilliant, brilliant guy. And you can go check out his videos on YouTube. He's talking about how the now moment is the only moment that counts. But I loved his words or his perspective on it and how he chooses to use that particular phrase for himself. Because I know I've shared this on my channel before. He says that whatever has happened in your life, okay, the now moment is the only moment that counts. If you go with that mentality, assuming maybe you've been betrayed by a loved one or something hurtful has happened to you, if now is the only moment that you had left, how much will that particular event matter to you? And this just blew my mind, because what most people do is that they keep on, I want to say, punishing themselves for past failures, for past mistakes. You're wishing you hadn't um, gotten involved with a certain person, or you wish you hadn't done a certain task or whatever, and you're constantly punishing yourself in your mind with your regrets, with your shame, with your guilt, and all of that, or feeling bad that something bad happened to you. But if now is the only moment that you have left, will that particular thing matter as much? And if you can go with that kind of awareness, it takes practice to be in the now moment. I still haven't even mastered it. I'm still learning and training my mind to focus on the now. The now is where you have all the power. So you dwelling on something that you can't even change, even if you tried, you can't change that event. It's already happened. I will say it's pointless. Focus on the now. This is where your power is. And I also had a beautiful quote from one of the podcasts I was listening to. They shared that, all these negative feelings, the worry, the doubt, the shame, the guilt, all of that is basically chaos without meaning. It adds no value to your life, yet most people, that's where they get stuck. And one of the things that I learned in my teachings with quantum flow is that a majority of human beings are stuck in the low vibration emotions. But what they don't know is that it's kind of like a bottomless pit, if I may say so, in the sense that it keeps on sucking more energy and demanding more of your attention. So you can never get out of it. Okay, as long as you're tapping into those low vibration, you kind of get stuck in that vibration, because it keeps on demanding more of your time, more of your energy, more of your focus, and all of that. And now the energy that you can dedicate to things that actually add value to your life, you don't have the energy for that, because again, you're stuck on those vibrations. You're stuck in the past. You're stuck worrying about a future that has not even materialized yet. And this is why they said, It's chaos without meaning. It does not serve a purpose. And if you can go with that mentality in your day-to-day operations, that anytime you encounter those triggers, again, remind yourself, if now is the only moment that counts, will this actually really matter? Maybe that might help you release whatever that event is, or whatever that experience is. And to add on that, you can also bring that awareness of this is just chaos without meaning. It's not adding value to your life. It doesn't push you forward. It keeps you stuck. In fact, it even drags you back, way back than the point you are right now. So if you can let those emotions go, especially in the world we live in, the more empowered you're going to be, and the easier it's going to be for you to forge ahead and move forward with your life and add more experiences that actually add value for you. Okay. That was my lesson for the week, and I love again to hear from you. So do comment down below on how you've grown, how you have evolved, or your biggest aha moment in the last whatever it is. Okay. So today's video talking about one of the biggest mistakes that people make without knowing sometimes when they're trying to manifest a certain reality in their life. Okay. It's the fact that you focus so much on what you don't want rather than, like, I would say 80% of your time is focused on what you don't want rather than on what you actually want. One thing you might not know is that you're constantly manifesting, whether you're conscious of it or not. Manifestation is something we all do. What people in the personal development, the spiritual world, or whatever, we try to do that consciously, meaning that you're no longer a victim of whatever experiences are happening in your life. You're creating those experiences for yourself. Fine, some things might be out of control, right? But either way, all those experiences are always meant to serve us. But most people, they're not even intentional with the kind of reality they want to create for themselves. So again, they just go through life, just getting dragged like a drag doll, left, right, center. And life is always happening to them, So sometimes it might be good, sometimes it might be bad. And you assume that this is how life is supposed to be lived, but that's not the reality. You can get super intentional with what you want to create. One of the practices I love giving to my clients is that write a clear vision of what it is that you want to manifest in different areas of your life, okay? So if it's your health, what do you want to be? How do you want to feel within your body, If it's your finances, if it's your career, if it's your relationships and all of that, write a clear, detailed description of what it is that you desire. Now, remember that in order for you to call in that reality, things have to be in alignment. So it's not just about your words. The universe does not understand language. And this is the download that came up for me this week. It's that, first of all, we all speak different languages, right? English is not there. There are people who speak French. There's people who speak Spanish. There are people who speak Mandarin and all that. Like there are different languages. And even in Africa, like we've got a ton of tribes, right? And each one of it with their own language. So if the universe depending on language, I mean, how would that communication happen? Those are the kind of thoughts that run through my mind, so don't mind me. But essentially, it's not the language that determines what you create. It's the vibration, it's your essence. That's how you actually communicate to the universe what it is that you're intending to manifest. Meaning that your thoughts, your emotions, the actions or whatever you put out, that is what the universe is responding to. It doesn't respond to your words. But what most people do is that they'll spend their time complaining about, I hate my job, I don't like my job, I don't do it, and all of that. But in that sense, you're actually giving the universe mixed signals. Okay. It's not in alignment with what it is that you want to manifest. And this is the download that came up for me. If you were trying to communicate to someone who maybe you're not speaking the same language, okay, and you want something from this person, will you spend your time trying to focus on communicating to this person what you don't want? Or would you rather point to them what you actually want and focus your attention on that, hoping that in some strike of luck or whatever, that person will actually understand you? Of course, the answer will be I'll focus my attention on trying to get this person to understand what I want, not what I do not want, which is what we do with the universe. So we focus so much, including even in our thoughts. We're so focused on hating whatever experience we have in our life. We're so focused on hating our current reality that does not serve us, rather than putting all our attention on what we desire. your thoughts, your emotions, your actions should be focused on what it is that you're trying to call in, not what you do not want. Okay. So let me just paint a picture for you. Assuming that you're hungry and you're trying to communicate to this person that I want food. Okay. Maybe there is a universal symbol for, you can point to your stomach and maybe rub it and be like, and maybe that other person will understand. Do you mean that you're hungry and all of that? Again, that can be misinterpreted because again, we live in different countries, each with their own culture and all of that. So certain symbols that you might use might not mean the same thing for everyone. Okay. So assuming this person understands, okay, you're hungry. I get that. What do you want? Assuming the person has maybe a dish maybe you're allergic to, or maybe you don't want to eat, you want something else that they have. Would you be pointing to this dish and saying, I don't want this and all of that? Because basically, this person in their mind will interpret because you're pointing so much to this thing, that's probably what you want, and they'll bring you that dish. That's not what you want. You want the other dish, okay, that you desire, right? So, what will be the best way for you to communicate that to the person? It will be to point to that dish and say, that that is what I want. And this is basically what you need to do with whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Your thoughts, your emotions should all point to what you actually desire, not what you don't want, that you're no longer sending the mixed signals to the universe. Remember that if you're pointing to what you don't want and you're constantly talking about it, regardless of that, because most people like you, just because I'm saying I don't want this person, I don't want to interact with this reality and all of that, the universe must understand. Again, the universe does not understand what it understands vibration. So if your entire focus is on that thing, it's gonna bring you more of that because it assumes that's what you want. Okay, let's put it in another explanation or another analogy. Assuming you don't want to talk to someone, right? Maybe you're seeing someone that you're not in good rapport with, right? And maybe that person is standing next to your friend and you're across, not your friend, or just standing next to someone. So assuming that there's a language barrier, okay? So bear with me here. And you're trying to communicate to your friend, okay? If you're constantly pointing to that person, your friend might assume, oh, you want to talk to that person. So they're going to get that person's attention and bring them to you, right? That's probably what's going to happen. Maybe they might by a stroke of luck or something, they might understand that you don't want to deal with that person and maybe might distract that person so that you can get away. Chances are, because you keep on pointing at it, and maybe they're not understanding what you mean, they might assume that you want to talk to that person. But your intention is that I don't want to talk to that person. But assuming that you were just to walk away, be like, you know what, nah, I'm not going to deal with this, I'm out. Wouldn't that actually communicate strongly that you do not want to be in that environment with that person? That will actually communicate so loudly. So if your game, your thoughts, your action, your emotions, and all of that are so intentional on pointing to that thing that you do not want, again, mixed signals. Yes, eventually you might actually manifest what you desire, but not with a lot of effort. You have to put in a lot of effort to actually get your desired reality. That will take a lot of time. So why not use your precious time and your energy to put all your focus on what you actually desire? That means you wake up, you dream about it. Your emotions will be in alignment with that, which again will not always be easy to maintain, especially with the daily triggers we encounter. But once you have that awareness that no, the reality I want, this is how it feels, that's where you put in most of your energy. So even if you get triggered out of that, you can find yourself back because you understand I have to be in alignment with what it is that I want to create. My thoughts, my words, my actions, my emotions, my feelings, all of that, they have to be in alignment with that reality. And that's where you put your energy to. Okay. We're living in crazy times, right? Last week I talked about the US elections and all of that, and basically the experience that people are going through. And no one really knows what's going to happen. Okay, it's like we're just waiting for that. But instead of worrying about that, remember I talked about chaos without meaning? Instead of putting all your energy and focusing on what might or might not happen and being worried and being fearful and feeling anxiety over it, why not put your focus on the kind of reality you want to exist in? And this applies to everyone in the world because if you're watching me, I'm sure you're going through something in your life that maybe might not be to the kind of experience you want to have. Why not, instead of worrying about it and doubting and all of that, put your energy towards that thing that you want to manifest? And believe me, the more you do that, now you're not sending mixed signals to the universe, because the universe is like, oh, so you want a job where you feel relaxed and you feel easy and you have a lot of free time? Then you're not sending mixed signals. Now, whatever needs to happen to get you to that reality, it's going to happen easier. But as long as you're constantly fluctuating, oh, I hate my job, or this and all of that, like those mixed signals are what actually causes a delay in that. Okay. So I'm going to end this here, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So do share down below with me what you think about what I shared and how it has actually inspired you to start thinking differently and how you're actually going to incorporate this into your manifestation. So I would really, really love to hear from you. So share in the comments below. And also, if you would love for me to talk about a certain topic, you have questions or whatever, do comment down below and I will do my best to respond to you. Okay, in a video or in the comments. Okay, so thank you so much. Do subscribe to my channel if you like the kind of content I share out, and also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any moment that I actually upload a piece of content. Okay, and miss out on all this wisdom, don't miss out. Okay. And thank you so much for your support if you're watching me. I do appreciate the attention. I appreciate your time and all of that. So thank you so much. And I did promise I was going to share how the two modalities that I'm actually certified with can actually help you accelerate your growth, your healing process, because that's what it did for me. It really accelerated that for me. And let me just share my screen for a moment so that you can get a feel of what it is I'm talking about. So I did share I am certified in two modalities, one which is called soul realignment. So what is soul realignment? The soul realignment is a modality that is based on working with the Akashic records. Okay, so it's a spiritual modality that is based on understanding that each soul is unique with its own divine nature, gifts, and purpose. We live in a world where there's a ton of information that is out there about different ways that you can be successful and you can attain whatever it is that you desire. With soul alignment, whatever information that you get in the reading, it's tailored to who you actually are at a soul level. The biggest mistake that people make is in trying to be something that they're not. Maybe you've seen someone have success in a certain field, and then you're thinking that, oh, that's the only path to success. And you try to do it like them, but you don't achieve the same kind of success. There's a reason for that. Anytime you go against who you were designed to be, the only thing you do is actually create more dysfunction. So for that person, it could be that they were completely in alignment with their true soul, divine nature. And that's why it was easy for them to create that kind of reality for themselves. But if you try to do it like them, and that's not how you were designed, you only create more chaos. And this is literally what's happening in the world. So many people are trying to be everything because we've been convinced that this is the only path to success, but that's not the reality. Okay. So again, with soul realignment, it's about realigning you with how you show up in your human experience and making sure that that is in alignment to your original soul blueprint. So leave alone all the negative choices you've made that have taken you away from that. It's actually aligning you to who you were originally created to be. The core principle of soul alignment is about giving you practical, useful information that does have transformational value. What I mean by this is that, again, we live in an information age where there's a ton of information, but with soul realignment, the information you're actually getting, it's not something just for the fun of it. It's something that actually, if you utilize the information the way you meant to utilize it and start creating practical steps and taking those practical steps in your daily life, you will create so much transformation for yourself. Okay. And you'll experience that in your different areas. Okay. With soul alignment, it's all about free will and choice through self-empowerment and taking just personal responsibility. So all the circumstances that have happened in your life, and you might argue and say, no, I didn't mean to be betrayed by that person. I didn't mean to have a parent who, was not the best parent for me. But in actual sense, a lot of the circumstances that we've experienced in our life are actually a product of what the kind of negative choices we made in our past life. What our soul does is that because all these negative choices got imprinted within our blueprint, we keep on experiencing the same circumstances over and over again, attracting the same kind of people. If you feel yourself stuck in negative repeating patterns, there's a reason for that. It's because your soul is attempting to resolve that karma for itself. doesn't want to keep on repeating those same mistakes. But because you have no awareness of what those mistakes are, yes, you might let go of this person, but you attract the same kind of person in another person. So if you have an idea of what I'm talking about, soul element will be a good fit for you to actually understand what those patterns are and how you can actually go about releasing and letting go of those patterns so that they're no longer part of your experience. So with soul element also, you'll get a soul level healing, meaning that energetically, through your awareness, first of all, you get to heal all this negative karmic blueprint that's been part of your soul blueprint for so many lifetimes. You get to heal and release it, okay? So that now, energetically, first of all, you're no longer a match to that. But one thing I tell my clients is that when it comes to the physical reality, remember you created all those negative experiences in this environment, in a physical reality, through your everyday choices, or rather your everyday actions. So to really experience the full healing, you gotta do something different. If you go back to doing what you've always done and entertaining the same kind of circumstances and the same kind of people, guess what? You create the karmic and the negative karmic patterns again, which is not what you want. Okay. But again, with soul element, now that you have awareness of how you're doing that, now you're empowered to not make those same mistakes again. So who is soul element for? Again, if you're feeling stuck in repetitive negative patterns, whether in finances, relationship, or health, and you have no idea why this keeps happening to you, soul element can actually help you get to the root cause of that. If you're struggling with self identity and feeling disconnected from your true purpose, so Element can help you get in touch with your true soul, divine nature. And just by being aware of that, it will impact the kind of choices that you're making right now because you will make choices that are in alignment with how you were meant to experience your human life. If you're experiencing constant roadblocks and challenges that seem to have no clear cause or solution, if you have difficulty understanding why certain relationships or situations seem to repeat and causing you more and more stress, right? If you're sensing that past traumas or unexplained fears are influencing your present life, if you're experiencing low energy or motivation despite the efforts you make to make positive changes, there could be a reason for that. And it's so relevant. It's really getting to the root cause of why your life has been the way it's been, and then helping you to heal that energetically and empowering you to get away from those patterns with the awareness you gain from the reading. Okay. Again, if you have a deep desire for emotional healing and freedom from the burdens of the past, soul alignment will be a beautiful way to get started. So, the second modality I work with is called quantum flow. So, quantum flow is a beautiful, beautiful. We call it a technology because it is a technology. It uses breathwork, sound, and movement to actually restore back your balance into your body, your mind, different areas of your life, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your energetic well-being. What I love about quantum flow is that, first of all, we're not just focused on working on the mind or on just one aspect. We're rewiring different areas of your life. What most people don't know is that a lot of their trauma, a lot of the emotional blockages that they've experienced all the way from your mother's womb. Okay. If in case your mom was going through certain experiences that were not even in the highest kind of vibration for her, guess what? That got imprinted within your nervous system. And for so many people, you're going through and experiencing certain reactions and certain things in your life, and you have no idea where they're coming from. If they're part of the unconscious patterns that are already stored within your nervous system, guess what? You keep on reacting in the same way, whether consciously or you're unconscious of it. Okay, with quantum flow, really, it's helping you, first of all, break down those patterns. For most people, they're not even conscious or aware that those patterns exist within themselves. But the more and more you practice quantum flow, every time you do a quantum flow practice, you're breaking down a long held rooted belief system within you that no longer serves your highest being. And the more and more you do that, you're opening yourself to attain, okay, the highest sense of well-being in your physical, in your emotional, in your spiritual, in your mental, in your energetic well-being. And I know it sounds like too good to be true, but I've done this practice for the past 4 years actually. So I started in 2020, and I cannot tell you like the kind of things that I'm aware of, the kind of things that I've actually been able to become because of this beautiful modalities and this brilliant way of being able to just build or cultivate a state of unshakable calm regardless of what's happening in the world. And if you know what's going on in the world, you know that is kind of like a superpower. that regardless of what is happening in the outside world, it will take a lot to trigger you. With quantum flow, you can actually attain that. Because once you get to release those stress, those patterns within you that have been stuck within you for such a long time, the more and more you do quantum flow, the more and more you're releasing that energy and you're waking up who you were meant to be. Okay. With quantum flow is, remember I talked about being stuck in low vibrations, right? With quantum flow, since a majority of human beings are stuck in those low vibrations, right? Constantly feeling worry and stress and all of that, which keep on being like a bottomless pit that's constantly sucking more and more energy. With quantum flow, once you release those patterns within your nervous system and get that energy flowing the way it's supposed to be, guess what? You have more energy, okay, to really tap into your flow, into your creativity, to connect with your authentic self, to connect with your higher guidance. Most people can't even find the right path for them because they're so stuck in who they were in the past, based on their past life blockages and the trauma and all of that. With quantum flow, once you break down those patterns, it opens you up for that higher guidance from your higher self or from your guides or from your angels, whatever you believe in. Now that information can come through because you're no longer stuck in the past, okay? So I know I've said a lot of words, okay? Let me show you who quantum flow will be a good fit for. Sorry. So who is this for? So if you constantly struggle with mental fog or difficulty concentrating, with quantum flow, once you really get the energy flowing again, guess what? It opens you up to flow, to being in flow constantly, right? And really helping you and can have a huge positive impact on your productivity, okay? Struggling with chronic anxiety and stress, and maybe you're constantly feeling overwhelmed and just everything is just unmanageable. Quantum flow can really, really, really help you break down those patterns that lead to that. If you're feeling physically and emotionally drained, if you're experiencing chronic pain, that could actually be a result of the physical tension that, based on all the experiences that you've had, you're constantly reacting in the same way and causing this kind of tension within that particular part of your body. The more and more you release those patterns and the energy blockages, guess what? Now you can actually tap into full body healing and vitality. Okay, obviously, of course, with the additional healing things that you're using for that particular physical pain or ailment. Okay, if you have difficulty controlling your emotions, leading to mood swings, frustration, or anger, quantum flow will be a good fit for you. If you're feeling disconnected from your higher purpose or intuition or unsure of your life direction, quantum flow can help you release everything that's blocking you from tapping into that. If you're struggling with unresolved trauma from childhood that continues to affect your daily life, most people are constantly reacting the same way that they used to react based on a past life, not a past life, but something that happened in their childhood. Remember that if you keep on reacting in the same way over and over again, you're actually creating those blockages within your nervous system. If you've ever experienced yourself having an overblown reaction to a very small trigger, chances are that trigger actually touched on that emotional wound that is actually a byproduct of so many experiences that you've had in your life. So if you ever experience that in your life, quantum flow can really help you break down the reason for that so that you're no longer reacting in that overblown kind of way. But again, releasing this unresolved karma from within your system, okay? Repeatedly falling into limiting beliefs and negative thought patterns, some of them which are not even our own. It's things that we picked up from the caregivers who are in our environment when we were growing up, and we're constantly creating our reality based on our limiting beliefs. So if you're having belief patterns that do not serve the state that you want to manifest in your reality, guess what? You continuing bringing more pain and suffering in your experience. And in quantum flow, it's helping you get in touch with those limiting beliefs. And now, with the awareness that you have, you get to create that reality you want to manifest for yourself. The more and more you do the practice, the more and more you're releasing these limiting patterns that no longer serve you. If you're yearning for spiritual connection but feeling blocked from accessing deeper states of bliss, also guidance, if you have also inability to manifest desired goals or break free from patterns that keep you stuck in the past, quantum flow will be a good fit for you. So if any of the above sound good for you, or maybe you might say like, I will have more questions and I want to know if there will be a good fit for what I'm going through, I invite you to schedule a discovery call with me. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now, or you can check out the link in the description box down below and book a session with me. We can see if this is a good fit for you or not. If not, then I'll wish you the best and maybe guide you on how you can tap into better practices for yourself. But if they are, I look forward to actually being your healer or your guide in this journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everything I've shared in this video has really helped you transform the way you're going to be showing up in the world and creating or manifesting what you truly desire. If I'd love to hear know your thoughts on this, so do comment down below. And thank you so much for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any kind of content I share out here. So thank you so much and love and blessings.